Yaddle Chattle, a Star Wars podcast bringing you the lightning, bringing you the thunder, and my God, Star Wars is heating up. We are a week away from the Mandalorian Season 3 premiere, and gosh damn it is we excited. We are still in full swing of the Bad Batch, maybe the worst Star Wars show of all time. We've got Andor news, Ahsoka news, all kinds of news, baby. It's Yaddle Chattle. My name is Darth Vader. A little bit about me. I like shooting lightning at people, murdering millions with a space cannon, and doing all-around Sith-like activities. With me as always, though, the co-host of Yaddle Chattle, bringing the light side of the Force to oppose my dark. Ladies and gentlemen, put it together for Jedi Jared!
Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? I'm sorry, I was bringing up making sure all the stories were in the queue in case I needed to go to them when we did. So you'll get the applause later.
Jared,
Yes,
are you
David.
excited for this episode of Yaddle Chattle?
I am.
Because we got a lot to discuss. And right off the bat, I have to discuss something, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time in my entire life, I finally went to Star Wars Land at Disney World. Come on! Woo! Yeah, you know it. It's Yaddle Chattle, Daddy. Now, the bottom line is this. Star Wars Land at Disney World was just as phenomenal as I was hoping, as I was expecting. It was just as amazing as I was hoping, Jedi
Good.
Jared.
I'm glad you had a good vacation. You feel rested.
I feel rested. I feel relaxed. I feel ready to go. I feel more obsessed with Star Wars than ever before, which is never a good thing for my friends and neighbors. Because I've decided to, have I told you this?
What?
I've decided to cut down sleep in general. I wanted to go I want to be a real basket case. So in 2023, my New Year's resolution, I suppose, it's a little bit of a delayed New Year's resolution since it's fucking February, but nevertheless.
It's almost March.
Nevertheless,
it's almost March.
It's almost March. And I've discovered my New Year's resolution, less sleep. What do you think about that? It's going to add extra layers of unpredictable, unbalanced Darth Vader madness. It's going to produce more and more exciting moments of yelling, freaking out my neighbors, and becoming an overall problem in the local town that I'm currently in, as I have officially gotten the Sith target on my back, and all of the local people are like, watch that guy. That guy's a crazy son of a bitch. You're goddamn tootin' I am! I'm crazier than fucking Palpatine was! Okay, now.
I don't know if that's going to help you or hurt you professionally.
What?
Up
at the camera.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if
talk
that's
to
going
them.
given what you do for a living, I don't know if that's going to help you.
What do you mean, being the number one morning radio host in New Jersey, 95.9, the Rat, WRAT-FM?
Yeah.
Where book after the last 8 or 9 books, I've lost track. We keep getting number one ratings at the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Me, what? Darth Vader.
That might have something to do with getting a decent night's sleep.
No. See, what I've decided to do is 1 to 2 hours every night.
Oh, no.
I go to bed at about 2 or 3 a.m., get up at 5 for my morning radio show, no shower, go into the show, go into the radio station, no shower, and dominate the hell out of the morning show. That's what I do.
Okay.
But what I've decided to do is, I have like an hour-long nap when I get back from the show. Maybe around 11, noon, hour to, 2 hour long nap maybe.
Okay.
Now overall, I'm getting about 3 to 4 hours of sleep nightly.
Okay.
Since I've been doing this. It's made me extra crazy and even paranoid. What was that? I start hearing and seeing things that aren't actually there, that don't really exist. Huh? Did you see that?
Are you having trouble sleeping? Is that the problem?
Yes.
You can't shut off?
I'm tortured. These days, I'm a tortured soul. The brain never stops working.
Have you tried?
I think of all the people that I want to shoot lightning at from my fingertips. That's constantly going around and round in my brain. Rather than people seeing sheep jump over a nice little fence, I see people enter my fence, and then I just want to shoot lightning at their faces and melt their faces off.
Okay.
So that's how I'm probably staying awake rather than falling asleep because of that method.
Maybe you should try melatonin.
Melatonin?
And magnesium.
Magnesium? Isn't that what the mineral, the Bad Batch was mining for this past week? Magnesium?
I don't think, yeah.
Ipsum or something like that. Some bullshit.
Ipsum Jetsum.
We'll get to the Bad Batch in just a second. Came back from Star Wars land.
So let's get the details.
Entirely invigorated.
Good.
The Millennium Falcon, unbelievable. As great as everyone says. A lot of people were like, you know, you're going to love the Rise of the Resistance. Rise of the Resistance blows everything away, blows the Falcon away. I loved the Falcon.
Okay.
I got Stanley Mac, my son, Sith Stanley. Oh, shoot. He was, by the way, congratulations to my daughter, Jedi Juliana. I went there because her high school was chosen to do a parade. She's in the band and the color guard and all that stuff. So that Ocean High School was chosen to march in a parade on Main Street in Florida. And that's the whole reason why I was even there in the first place.
As a chaperone.
So, what are you doing over there?
I'm playing with the speaker.
Well, just stop it. Stop it.
Okay, I want to make sure it's on.
Attention.
Okay.
Jedi Juliana, she gets all the credit. She was the catalyst for us going down there. And she was fantastic. So a big congratulations to her. She looked great. The whole band looked great. It was fantastic seeing them march down Main Street. But while they were doing that, once we saw that, Sis Stanley and I made a beeline for several rides, several lands, Star Wars Land being one of them. The Millennium Falcon's amazing. Now, have you gone to Star Wars Land yet?
No.
What a fucking jerk! Hey, Yaddle heads! Look at the fucking non-Star Wars dickwad who's never even been to Star Wars world, for Christ's sakes. Not like me. A veteran of Star Wars world. Look at the goddamn joke. Look at the guy who thinks he's a Star Wars.
You popped your cherry.
That's your Goodfellas impression?
Yeah.
That's your Paulie impression?
Well, then they had all those guys.
From the courthouse.
Yeah.
They were all there.
That
was great. That was Paulie who did the pop your cherry line.
Like,
you popped your cherry. Hey, you popped your cherry. And then Jimmy Conway brings him out, remember? I thought you'd be mad. Mad at you? No, you did it the right way. You kept your mouth shut. You never said anything. Oh, boy. Good foreshadowing there, Jimmy. Fucking Henry Hill was the biggest rat. He sent you all down the river. Or is it up the river? Is it down the river or up the river? Regardless, when you go to jail, a river is involved. Now, back to Star Wars World. Went to Olga's Cantina. Had a great time.
Blue milk?
Yes, tried the blue milk. It's just fine.
What is
it?
I want to know what blue milk tastes like.
It tastes the way you think. There's like
a pina colada.
Yeah, there's a fruity, creamy kind of thing.
It's a pina colada.
But the thing that I did, Jared.
Yes.
Was I got these 4 beers out of Rancor teeth. I wish I had brought the thing. I left it.
Did you
My
take
daughter
a
has it. She'll bring it back.
Do you have a picture of it?
She'll bring it. But no. But Star Wars world aficionados and veterans such as myself know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Have you ever been to a craft brewery?
Yeah, of course.
Where you have one of these little...
flight.
What do they call it?
Flight.
Right. It's a piece of wood that's got the holes and it gives you like 4 or 5 sampling bars.
Flight.
Okay. It's a flight. It's that thing. It's the piece of wood with the holes and they give you 4 beers. But the cool thing is the beers came in gorgeous ceramic Rancor teeth.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Fucking awesome it is. Yeah, the Rancor teeth act as the glasses. So I got that. $80, but still I got it.
What is what are the beers like? Were like just
it's like Sierra Nevada and shit.
It wasn't like craft Star Wars beer.
No, that would have been cool.
There's actually
they now sell you proper beer at Disney. but they're not going to be selling you IPAs and shit.
There's actually a meadery out in Detroit called Bee Nectar, and one of their like meads, like their anniversary special, is a Star Wars themed one.
Ooh,
they're a great one. They do Zombie Killer. Zombie Killer is one of the best things I've ever had in my entire life. But they, one of them's like a walker, but it's a walker in the shape of a barrel.
I like that.
It's like a barrel walker.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why I went with the Rancor teeth. That was sensational. Now, the Rise of the Resistance really is fucking great. It's a full-on experience. It's a long ride.
Like,
you're walking.
Like the line ride?
Like, well, no, but yeah, kind of is. It's like you're walking around, then you're in a room, then you finally do get on like a little cart that sort of takes you around. Think of, you've been to Disney World at least in general?
Yes.
Think of the Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
Only Disney. Like Death Star, Starship, wherever the fuck we were.
Got it.
You're on a thing, you're going through all these bases, a door pops up, and all of a sudden there's Hux and Kylo Ren right there. It's really fucking cool. Animatronic. But it's really fucking cool. It's a great ride. At one point you're in the elevator, and they have it so like it looks amazing. So it looks like Kylo Ren, his lightsaber is cutting through the top of the elevator while you're in it. Because he's trying to get after you. And it really does look realistic. It's fucking great.
Great.
Went on Star Tours because, God damn it, I know it's not even a part of Star Wars land anymore. But I gotta do the Star Tours.
Which one did you get?
I actually got a land that I hadn't been to. Kashyyyk.
The
Wookiees. The Wookiee planet. And there was another place that I hadn't been to.
I guess they must have added... Since the prequels
They've
came out?
upgraded. Oh, yeah. They've upgraded since the prequels came out, 100%.
So they do like a Geonesis one.
Yes.
And then they do all...
Mustafar, I believe.
Kashyyyk.
But I had never gotten the Wookiee planet. I always get Hoth for some reason. And a couple other things.
The default one.
Right? Hoth. Maybe even the Death Star.
Or Andor. They go with the classic ones, but I guess they've had to upgrade it.
No, they've upgraded. A Disney Plus, Behind the Attractions. You ever watch that show?
No.
Jesus fucking Christ. There's a whole episode dedicated to Star Tours. You can learn all about it.
Okay, cool.
I know, but you don't take advantage of the Disney Plus documentaries the way I do.
I'm not as much of a Disney guy.
Yeah, but now that it's got a connection with Star Wars, you might as well become a Disney guy. You're not going to get away from it.
No, I've got a small little child, so.
And they have documentaries there. Did you ever watch the Imagineers? Imagineering.
No.
Jesus Christ, man.
I like true crime documentaries.
True crime documentaries?
And then
I'm sorry, you fucking sick, morbid bastard. But Disney Plus isn't going to be able to give you some goddamn John Wayne Gacy documentary, you serial killing freak.
He's my favorite.
He's your favorite?
Yeah,
Jedi Jared with the Sith turn over here.
No, I've always been fascinated with that sort of thing. Cults. I was an anthropology major in college, so.
Fascinated by cults?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, I'm sitting next to Jim Jones over here, for Christ's sakes. You're gonna make me, force me to drink Kool-Aid, you son of a bitch? Huh? You're gonna shoot some goddamn congressman and NBC cameraman after you're done with me, you fucking son of a bitch?
No.
Guess you don't know the details of the Jonestown Massacre the way I do. Well, you're looking at me blankly. Now listen, Jared. After we went to Millennium Falcon, so Falcon, Olga's Cantina, okay. Rise of Resistance.
Then what? What else is there?
Lightsaber Workshop, ladies and gentlemen. Live on the air. Here's Darth David's new lightsaber that he built with Sith Stanley. Look at this fucking thing. Will you look at this? Look at that. Look at that handle right there, Jared. Wow. You jealous?
How much did that run you?
Look at this. Now ready? Whoa!
Yeah, I got a Mace Windu one.
I mean, is this the shit or is this the shit? I went with the good old-fashioned Sith lightsaber. I felt like I had to. I felt like it was the appropriate decision. And I'm very, very pleased.
It's bigger,
I love the goddamn handle. I think the handle, well, I need it. I got big hands.
The hilt is
I got
bigger.
big hands. I'm no fucking little tiny goddamn Jedi like you and Yoda. Clocking in at, you're 4'1".
I love how you're holding it like Paul O'Neill. like you even got the elbow back. Like.
I did. It is a kind of a Paul O'Neill type of look, huh? This would be lefty. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Hey, brother, I hit fucking 389 in JV baseball, motherfucker. Okay?
Okay.
The only reason why I didn't hit 389 in varsity is because I decided not to join the team in my junior and senior years of high school because I wanted to do drugs instead. Okay. Now.
What else is there? Like, I know about those attractions. What else is there at Star Wars?
Okay, so we had Olga. We did Falcon. Did Rise of Resistance. Did the lightsaber workshop. Walked around. Part of the fun of Star Wars World is just walking around. Because the attention to detail is spectacular. I will give them credit. It feels very much like Star Wars. You feel like you're in a Star Wars world.
They've immersed you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now some people have been a little bit critical and said, they overthought it, should have just made Tatooine rather than Batu. I had no issues with Batu. I thought it looked cool. And as long as it looks like a Star Wars world or feels like a Star Wars world, I'm good with it. There is you do feel more of I guess there's a sequel vibe since you have Rise of the Resistance and stuff like that. And maybe they should think about getting back into the original trilogy vibe since Mandalorian is, one of their biggest shows, if not their biggest. I mean, Andor was maybe their most critically acclaimed, but their biggest rated show
is The Mandalorian.
So, and since The Mandalorian is essentially in the original trilogy era, only 5 years after Return of the Jedi, they might want to consider going that direction going forward. But...
Well, I'm sure they put it in a place where they could expand it, and they're planning probably on expanding Star Wars land.
Yeah. And just shut it down for a couple days and maybe, just redo some of the exterior. I don't know. Maybe make it Alderaan. But, Tatooine, not Alderaan. You want people to survive the park experience. So it was fantastic. I was very impressed with Star Wars World, Star Wars Land, Batu, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I was very impressed at, again, this was the Disney World Star Wars Land in Florida that I went to. And it was sensational. I was quite happy that I went there. Now I feel like that was like one of the last things I had to do to check off as a Star Wars fan. I've been to a Star Wars celebration. I've been to this, been to that.
Don't you, I feel like the big thing would have been to get something like signed.
Well, I've seen, I didn't get anything signed, but I saw, Harrison Ford, George Lucas, John Williams.
You saw them
in person.
Oh, by the way, after our we broadcasted our show, John Williams turned 91.
Did he really?
Yes.
Happy birthday. The legend right there. Johnny Williams. Wonderful. So 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up from Star Wars Land. Wedge asked me for some pics. I realized I did not take a lot of pics.
Really?
That's why I can't even play some here right now.
Video?
Because I was really legitimately immersed.
You were fanboy.
And I did not want to, experience it through my camera. I wanted to experience it. I wanted to capture it all with the eyeballs and the head in case this is my only time. Look, I don't go to Disney World a lot. I haven't been to Disney World in 6 years. I just, it's fucking expensive. So it's not like I'm going to Disney left and right. I really wanted to soak it in. I didn't take a lot of pictures. I sent him a couple with me and Sith Stanley, but he said the pictures weren't clear enough. But the reason why I'm bringing Wedge up is because he gave us a bunch of new Yaddle pictures with Yaddle speaking into a microphone. So we have to thank Wedge for that. I did a bunch on my... I had Yaddle saying different things and then posted it on my Twitter and Instagram at Eastside Dave for a little Yaddle fun. Go check out those posts right there. Really fun. So I gotta thank Wedge again because these Yaddle pictures are fantastic.
Those Yaddle pictures that he sent were great.
Great.
And I told him he should send those to Bryce Dallas Howard. No, seriously.
For what reason?
Why not? Just be like, hey, I'm an artist. big fan of
You're
Yaddle.
aware Bryce Dallas Howard did not invent Yaddle.
I
She
know.
voiced her in Tales of the Jedi. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, why would Bryce Dallas Howard?
She's also fucking connected to Star Wars.
All right,
She's
you
directed
know what,
to
Wedge?
Star
Do
Wars.
it. Do it. Send him to Bryce Dallas Howard. As
father-
if that makes. But what you're asking for doesn't even make sense. How?
Well, you could.
How do you send pictures to Bryce Dallas Howard?
You could tag her online, or you could send in an Instagram message. She's on Instagram. She's on social media.
All right, try it out, Wedge. If you can get us connected with Bryce Dallas Howard, I will.
Didn't Mark Hamill
never stop being grateful?
Didn't Mark Hamill?
Mark Hamill did get back to me.
Your
He did.
Apocalypse
He did.
Jedi.
If you ever want to see something cool, Apocalypse Now, a Star Wars story where I mashed up. Basically, it's always been a thing with me that I've always felt like the end of Return of the Jedi with Luke Skywalker hiding and Darth Vader, sister, twin sister, hunting him down, and then Luke comes out of the shadows with the fight. Go and watch Apocalypse Now and tell me that the cadence and the rhythm isn't very similar to Marlon Brando walking around the shadows and Martin Sheen hiding until he comes out with the sword and cuts down Marlon Brando. It's very similar. I am the only film critic in the world who apparently feels that way. I mashed them up. I sent it out. I tweeted at Mark Hamill, and Mark Hamill retweeted it and said, "This is amazing."
Oh, two college buddies.
That's what he said about me. Darth David.
Two college buddies borrowing ideas from each other.
Who?
Well, John Milius and George Lucas.
There you go. John Milius and George Lucas.
And
There's
Francis
that
Ford
connection.
Coppola
And they're both friends with Francis. So, thank you, Wedge.
Thank you, Wedge.
Star Wars Land, thank you very much. Disney, thank you with the Star Wars Land. Unbelievable.
You know,
I wish I had more pictures, but I just didn't. I was in the moment, my friend. I wanted to live in the moment.
I'm hoping now with this insomnia that you have, we'll get more of those crazy, trippy 3 a.m. videos out of you.
That's possible. It's possible that you're going to get some of those.
Because we did get a new Area 51 drop.
That's right. Brand new. In case anyone from Yaddle Chattle is wondering what's happening, because I did see a couple people confused. They're like, what the fuck is happening here? Davey Mac's Area 51 is a specialty show that shows up on this feed. This is the all-encompassing, insane Eastside Davey Mac feed, where you can have all of the archived episodes of The Watchers. The Watchers are on this feed if you keep going down. That's the movie show that I did years ago with Chris Pepper Stanley, Sean O'Barry, and Roy Harder. Just talked movies and TV. And then, of course, Yaddle Chattle is here. But what's also here, for just the third time ever, Davey Mac's Area 51, a late night show I recorded 3 o'clock in the morning legitimately and just discussed UFOs, aliens, and extraterrestrial conspiracies. Okay? That's it.
It's free for now.
And the show is fantastic. It's free for now.
For now.
Because we are going to be trying to make some money in 2023, okay? Don't blame us. We've been, I've been giving free entertainment for 20 years. I would like just a little payment at this point, since I'm fucking great at what I do. They always say, if you're good at what you do,
get paid.
Gotta charge. I'm like, you know what? There's some truth in that. So, should we make the announcement? It's not official.
We're doing a soft
We're
launch.
doing a soft launch. We are starting a Patreon account. It's at Eastside Dave.
Patreon.com/EastsideDave.
Patreon.com/EastsideDave. And we're starting it. You can support us. You can support me. And then we are going to be adding things all the time. It's literally, you're just starting it with basically with just very basic tiers to send your appreciation and or support. But we are going to be adding stuff as we speak. So that's why we call it a soft launch. Go check it out. And then if you have any ideas, where should they email us?
YaddleChattle@gmail.com.
YaddleChattle@gmail.com for any ideas with Patreon.
Reached out to a lot of our core people, like, I guess, fan base. Pick their brains about things.
Beautiful.
Kind of got a general idea of what we should be looking to do.
Yes, sir.
Bobby has a lot of great ideas.
Excellent.
Our producer, Bobby. Wedge is the one that actually came up with this one particular idea, what we're starting at. So we're starting at Can I go into it a little more?
Yes.
Okay. We're starting at $2.50. That's all we're looking for, and you'll get a credit on our show here, Yaddle Chattle, and you'll also get a credit on the Davey Mac sports program.
So just by signing up for just a very basic $2.50 a thing, you'll get some shout outs and stuff.
You will be,
And the plan is we have some ideas of shows that we are going to be doing on Patreon. Different types of shows, different specialty shows, and we will be doing those shows. We're just it's a very slow, very soft Patreon premiere, but we're going to be adding a lot of cool stuff. Patreon.com/EastsideDave.
We want to, we appreciate the support, and we want to make sure that our patrons are getting the value from.
That's why we're starting just $2.50, and we're telling you straight up that it's bare bones. But as we add stuff, the tiers will go up. We're not going to put a gun to anyone's head. It'll be more than fair. Tiers will go up, and we will be adding different shows and experiences in the weeks and months to come, okay? This thing is going to start to grow. So if you go there now and you're like, well, there's nothing here, that we understand because we're going to be adding and adding and adding, okay? All right? So that's it. I don't want to go into it, for the entire show. Patreon.com/EastsideDave. So you got Star Wars Land was great. We got a week out into the Mandalorian Season 3. We're going to discuss that in just a few moments, but not right yet. What's the shout out?
Oh, no, this is the points. We haven't done points yet.
Okay, Joe Dallas has given us some points?
Yes.
Okay, our judge, our arbiter, Joe Dallas, the official Yaddle Chattle judge.
He's a scorekeeper.
The official scorekeeper.
You give out the points.
I distribute the points, but Joe Dallas actually goes to the bother of keeping the record of the point system. So what do we got?
All right, so this is from Joe. Shout out from the Florida Keys. It's time for the 45th show Sapphire anniversary episode. Now we know it's episode 45.
45. It's episode 45.
Hope you had a great time at Galaxy's Edge.
I did. Galaxy's Edge. I actually totally forgot that it was called Galaxy's Edge. I only call it Star Wars Land.
No, because you're of that generation of like when Disney World was like relatively new.
I didn't say the word Galaxy's Edge at all on vacation. I literally would ask people, how do I get to Star Wars Land?
But I think that's like very much like a generational thing because so much of Disney was like Frontierland.
Yeah, I guess so.
And, was it Space.
That is actually funny. I literally just got back from vacation, and that's the first time I've even heard the words Galaxy Edge.
That's all I think about is I would call it Marvel Land. And whatever,
right.
Like whatever they're setting
all
up.
All right. So what did he say?
He's like, I'm at Galaxy Edge as this airs.
All right.
With my 30 middle school band students on the band trip going crazy.
That's weird. That's why I was there. My daughter was in the high school band. Very interesting. Go ahead.
They do this all the time.
Yeah. I know.
My high school did the Disney trip in April. Usually.
Great.
I just want to say that I consider myself a Jedi, but if I were a Sith, I might consider I'm a Jedi just to throw you off, Dogsy.
Oh, no!
The points have been counted. Points
are that's smart.
Only official if spoken by the show's host.
That's right.
R2JD, my droid, wasn't tracking other listeners until show 43. 43. All points awarded by listeners have been included if spoken by the show's hosts to date.
Okay, so what do we got here?
All right, so we'll start with the listeners. As of show 43, Mr. Tom Cody has 199.
Yes.
Mr. Kevin Flynn has also 199.
Very good, okay.
Darth David has 542,534.
Okay, that's a good score. Go ahead.
Joe Dallas has 13,866.
Very good score by Joe.
And I have minus 159,456.
Well, you're gaining some ground though. You were even worse before.
What's that really?
So give Tom Cody 2 points, Kevin Flynn 2 points. Joe Dallas 2 points, minus 200 for you.
Okay.
Give me 2 points as well. I feel like I deserve it for just being here and bringing the lightning each and every episode. And I do thank Joe Dallas for this.
Thank you very much,
because
Joe.
I'm a big sports fan. I need to know the numbers. Okay, now before we get into a little Mandalorian prediction, because again, 1 week away from season 3 of the Mandalorian, and by God, we cannot wait. It's gonna have us move on from the Bad Batch. Thankfully, I know that they're gonna be running concurrently for a little bit, but we'll get to the Bad Batch.
We won't have to necessarily go back to the same point.
The Bad Batch reviews will be a minute long because we're going to be talking about Andor next week. Okay, Andor featurette. Where is it? That's something that crossed my brain recently. We're getting now a whole new series with The Mandalorian. Almost always, the plan has been before a new series, Disney does one of those Star Wars galleries where they do a behind-the-scenes look at that show. And before the next live-action series, they always do the documentary. They always do that Star Wars gallery. And in all honesty, Andor is one that I'm looking forward to the most because it is mysterious. Because I feel like I still don't know a lot about Tony Gilroy. So I really want to see a Star Wars gallery of Andor. But I haven't even seen anything online or any words of when a behind-the-scenes series or show of special of Andor is coming out.
Well, if you recall, when Obi-Wan came out, they didn't do a gallery. They kind of just
did. They did.
I thought they just did a Jedi's Return, like that one document. Like it was
come on, it's the same fucking thing,
but
dude.
I understand.
Oh my God, splitting hairs.
I'm not splitting hairs.
It's what I'm saying is a behind-the-scenes documentary, whether you call it Star Wars Gallery or something else. Give me a behind-the-scenes look. I like my Star Wars documentaries, my Star Wars featurettes, my first looks, my behind-the-scenes. I need it. It's been interesting to me since I was a kid when Mark Hamill did that Return of the Jedi documentary that was put on PBS. And since I was a kid, I've loved Star Wars documentaries. I love the Star Wars documentaries on Disney is one of the best things Disney Plus has done.
What is your favorite Star Wars documentary then?
The original.
The
one with Mark Hamill narrating. I forget, it's like something of a Jedi or this or that. And it's like a 1984-85 documentary. You can see it on YouTube. It's right there for free. And it came out when I was a little kid on PBS or something. And I was like, this is fucking great. This shit's on PBS. It was amazing. And you got to see the guy working the Salacious C. Crumb puppet. It was making him speak English and tell jokes and stuff. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. You got to see all the people, the 5 or 6 guys inside Jabba the Hutt, including the little person in his tail. And he's like, oh, just like to roll it. And so I go like this, and then the tail moves up and down. Or if he's feeling a little lazy, I go back and forth, and the tail just goes like that. But as a fucking little tiny kid, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is the best. That's my favorite. But believe it or not, I actually like some of the prequel era docs. For instance, there's just a really great doc of the shooting of the Phantom Menace. And you just see George, approving things, disapproving things. You see him watching Phantom Menace screener for the first time, and everyone's like, is that the movie? Like you can kind of sense that they're like, oh, it moved a little slow. And you just kind of say, all right, turn off the lights. Let's talk about this.
I really do like your
George Lucas impression. These docs are great. Where's the Andor? Are we not getting an Andor?
I don't know.
Well, what the hell?
It never pops up when I do any kind of Star Wars news stuff. I get a lot of stupid opinion pieces by it's all clickbaity stuff at this point.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that kept popping into my feed was the Liam Neeson comment about there's too many Star Wars spinoffs.
All right, well, yeah. Before we get into Liam Neeson, so no Andor?
No Andor.
No Andor featurette?
There's nothing.
I'm not sure there's going to be one now.
Maybe Tony.
Because if one wasn't released before The Mandalorian, then what's the deal here?
Maybe it's Tony Gilroy, and Tony Gilroy thinks that maybe behind the because he views himself as an artist.
No, I know.
Remember we were talking last week before you went away
he's
about,
a very high-ended artist.
So
type,
maybe,
which is just fine. Andor was great.
Maybe he thinks that like a behind-the-scenes featurette or documentary kind of cheapens it.
Really? All right. I know.
I mean, not everyone's
well, speaking
like
of
that.
Tony Gilroy,
Not everyone's like Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino doing Full Tilt Boogie.
Come on.
That's a great doc.
I know, but in today's day and age, you do the Star Wars doc. In today's day and age, you make a documentary on almost every movie. I mean, we've seen that happen. Come on now, Tony. Speaking of Tony Gilroy, religion and Andy Serkis. These things popped up.
Yes, that was a big thing. Let me bring that up because I didn't realize we were going to that.
Yeah, well, we were mentioning Tony Gilroy. That's why when you stupidly tried to transition to Liam Neeson, I, as the radio professional and success that I am, just decided to ignore you and bring it back because we were already talking about Tony Gilroy. We're going to do the Tony Gilroy story next rather than Liam Neeson. This is just called good transitional fucking podcasting radio, motherfucker. And give me 15 points, Joe, for the fact that I'm trying to do a nice, organized, seamless show. And Mr. Random over here tries to keep fucking sabotaging that fact. Minus 2 for him, for Jedi Jared.
So this is what he says on casting Andy Serkis.
Okay.
He goes, "We knew we had a big part there. We knew we had to drop a gear at the point in episode 8. We'd been through Aldhani. We had budgeted so that we could get someone really cool to come in. I knew Andy from The Lord of the Rings, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and Black Panther. The thing that blew my mind was that in Black Panther, he was so rugged and charismatic. I talked to Andy about it, and it was, well, it's a long way out. It'd be great, maybe if I'm available. He was also directing Venom, and I just chased him. A lot of my job is chasing people, trying to get people to join the train."
So he got him.
And then he said, when asked about the significance of Kino Loy, Gilroy explained, Kino Loy and the rest of the show in many ways are political. But for me, the prison sequence was always theological. That was always religious. And there's nothing else religious in the show, really. It was the idea of a guy who had faith. His faith is that the number in his box, so the prison is populated by true believers and other people like Melshi.
All right, how long is this going to go on? You're going to read a goddamn fucking 9-page monologue right now? You ever think of getting bullet points?
That's too much work.
Just go. Just wrap it up. Let's get a little concise.
I was almost done.
I know. You're look at how long this fucking paragraph is. You're going word by word.
It's basically the whole
thing
that
Here's what we need you. Can I just tell you? Read the story, then come and paraphrase it.
Okay.
You're a professional. Thank you.
Oh no.
I know, but you're literally sitting there reading on the air. It's like fucking books on tape. Read the goddamn story and paraphrase it.
You don't like books, so I love books on tape.
Go!
Basically, it's about how a guy goes from being a true believer to an atheist. Because he realizes it's all bullshit.
Okay. One could say, though, he gained faith in... I think that take is weird, even though Tony Gilroy created the whole goddamn series of the character. Because I think that put the fucking phone down.
I'm gonna see if there's anything.
I'm trying to talk to you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the phone is my point.
Okay.
You gotta be less phony. Okay? Jesus Christ. You like my new ringtone? Kids in the Hall. I just changed it. You like that?
Yes.
All right.
Are we gonna answer it on air?
No. No, listen. Here's the bottom line. What were we even talking about? Because phony over here, I can't. You're still looking at the phone. Can you look up at the fucking people you're supposed to be talking to for real and just leave the phone behind? My God, I love you so much.
Okay,
Do you understand how much I love you?
Yes.
But you don't bury your head in a phone when you're broadcasting.
Would you like me to do that? Would you prefer me to do that? Would you like me to do this?
I just want you to
be
talk.
present.
We're conversing on Star Wars. We're not reading phones.
Okay.
It's the shittiest fucking radio imaginable.
The whole thing is basically he's a believer. He thinks that he will be saved.
Okay, this is what I was going to say. Thank you for bringing me back. He says he went from faith to atheist because he believed in the system.
He believed that he was going to be saved.
I understand. Listen, I understand. He believed in the system. And then he realized the system is wrong, and says, well, fuck it. I don't believe in the system anymore. I'm atheist now. I feel like, okay, yes and no. I feel like the faith that he gained, I think he gained faith. It was in his fellow man. It was in his fellow inmate. It was in making connections with people and trying to be there for each other and break out of this prison physically, but also mentally. Get away from the fact that, hey, these people own me. I'm just a person cutting, hitting numbers in a fucking box. I'm just a guy doing shifts. That's all my life is. And Cassian showed him, that's not who your life is. You're not a fucking droid. We're more. We're humans. We need to get out of here. And I believe that he found a faith and strength in that. Found his faith was discovered with his fellow human being. And so I don't know. To me, it almost makes him sound like a little bit of a negative character when I found his character to be incredibly positive. A wonderful character that was full of redemption. Yeah. And I it's weird to disagree with the show's creator that Kino Loy is about becoming an atheist when I actually saw it the opposite, as this is a guy who rediscovered humanity with people. Maybe there's a difference. Maybe rediscovering your humanity means you can be, maybe they're not mutually exclusive, but I just didn't feel like this is a guy losing something. So in other words, if Tony Gilroy's submission is that he lost his faith, I just don't see Kino Loy as losing anything. I see him as finding something, humanity and connections with other people. What say you?
I think you're 100% right. I'm gonna go even deeper.
So Tony Gilroy's a fucking little dope.
I think that,
let's be honest.
I think that he's looking at it from the wrong perspective. I mean, again, it's a piece of art, and art's subjective. So everyone's gonna have their interpretation. But clearly, this was what he was looking to go for. And I actually agree. I think the whole concept of one way out is this kind of renewal of spirit. And then everything the chaos is going on is more or less a baptism. And they literally jump in the water. It's a baptism.
One could say that's kind of a baptism. I don't see
I'm not.
I don't see. I think Tony Gilroy, who created the whole goddamn fucking scene, is off on this one.
No, but
it doesn't seem like he has the right idea. This feels like totally full of faith.
Has there ever been a point in your life where you felt like shit and then something?
Every Wednesday on Yaddle Chattle.
It's Thursday.
Oh,
we record on Thursday.
Oh yeah, we record on Thursday.
Jeez Louise. We've been doing this for, maybe it's my turn to yell at you. We've been doing this for almost a year and you don't even know when we record?
Wait. If that's an impression of me,
no, it wasn't.
I mean, who am I, fucking Mickey Mouse? Because we talked about Disney. I mean, when have I ever had a voice that high in my entire life?
I'm not.
No, I actually found that rather humorous. Can I hear more impressions of Darth Vader, please? Come on.
Sure thing, dog.
Very odd.
So we got.
I want you to work on your Darth Vader impression and do 5 minutes of jokes next week.
Oh, I've got to do a tight 5 of Darth Vader
jokes. Just give us a few jokes next week with your Darth Vader impression. Everyone loves it. It's the new biggest hit on Yaddle Chattle.
Okay. But thank you, Struggle Nation, for interviewing Tony Gilroy and giving us that content.
Okay, well done, Struggle Nation. Now we can get to your Liam Neeson.
Okay.
No interest in a spinoff.
No. He basically saying all of these new shows in general.
He made a cameo in Tales of the Jedi and in Obi-Wan.
Not only did he make a cameo in Tales of the Jedi, his son was the younger voice of
That's cool.
Of Qui-Gon Jinn.
That's cool.
Like that scene where they go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
that first episode, or the second episode, whatever it was, the first one with them.
Yeah.
That was his son.
That's cool. I like it.
He thinks that.
So what's his deal? He doesn't want to do Qui-Gon anymore?
I think he's more like you. He wants to just see movies. And the movies come out, every so often. Whereas, like, we're getting 3-4 shows a year plus all the behind the scenes.
Are we going to get another season of Obi-Wan?
I hope so.
Or is that show done?
I think they're going to give another one.
Because if they did another season, I would have thought Liam, that's the part. Because I would have think that Liam Neeson begins, it doesn't have to be in the whole series, but he at least in an episode or two begins instructing Obi-Wan on how to stay alive after you die. How to become a Force Ghost. I feel like that needs to be covered if they're going to do a season 2. And Obi-Wan should be being taught by Qui-Gon.
Is it possible that they've already shot his scenes?
Oh, that's possible.
And that they're like, hey, we've got Liam Neeson for a few days.
If you have one or two things to say, if there's a whole episode where he's training Obi-Wan Kenobi, you might have to bring Liam Neeson back. That's my point.
But he was talking about how basically the market's too saturated now.
Too saturated with Star Wars stuff?
And it's taking away the mystery and all that stuff.
I disagree.
I disagree too.
Yeah. That's a Marvel thing. People are getting Star Wars and Marvel confused, I think, lately. I don't know. Everything they say about Star Wars lately, I feel like is actually Marvel. Like that there's no direction, there's no plan, there's too much stuff. Everything's the same. I'm like, well, that's all Marvel. That's not Star Wars. Star Wars, Andor is so much different from The Mandalorian, which both were different from Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know how you can sit here and honestly say things are similar. They're very different in Star Wars. Star Wars is good right now. For me, in terms of variety, I'm not getting bored with Star Wars and finding it too repetitive. I have an issue with The Bad Batch, which we'll get to in a little bit. The show sucks.
Let me just address.
But that's for a little bit later.
You're a little bit older than me. Just hear what I have to say. You saw Return of the Jedi in the theaters, correct?
I did.
All right.
I loved it. 2 thumbs way up. 2 9-numbs way up.
I wasn't that fortunate to actually see an original theatrical release. My dad saw the original Star Wars in the theater.
Daddy did?
Yeah. But your parents did. Your older brothers saw.
Yes, they did.
The other two.
Yes.
You might have seen The Empire Strikes Back because you were about 3 at the time.
Is there a point?
No, the point is that you and I grew up either watching one, like you saw the original trilogy. You grew up watching on television, correct?
Yes.
So did I. We didn't think that we were going to get the prequels, did we?
I was not sure that George Lucas was going to go back and do episodes 1, 2, and 3. I was always hoping, but can I say I definitely thought that was going to happen? No.
So
that's why people like myself, people of my age. Yeah, I was born in 1977, so I was 6 when Jedi came out. But actually, I was 5 because I was born in November. So but I understand your point. That was the dark period, and like I said, that's why the Timothy Zahn novels became huge, because a lot of people thought this is the closest thing we're gonna get to new Star Wars tales.
My point is that you and I grew up where we didn't think that we were gonna get new Star Wars content, and we were
correct. There's some truth to that.
We felt very fortunate when they re-released it in the mid-90s. And then George made the big announcement that he was going to do the prequels. And we were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
These are first new Star Wars, any kind of like movie or any like big movie in 20-something years.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
There's a whole generation of people that not only grew up with being little kids going to see the re-releases, the prequel trilogy, and then the sequel trilogy, and now all of this extra content, and they're like, there's just too much Star Wars content.
There isn't too much, because if you look at Star Wars, what they've been averaging 2 or 3 live action series per year,
so
right?
So it seems like they're releasing it
3 shows per year, and these shows are 8 to 12 weeks. That's not. So let's just. I mean, In some cases, you're talking 6 to 8 months of weekly Star Wars programming, where then there's another 4 to 6 months where you get nothing. I don't think that that's overly done. I think that's just fine. I think that's keeping people interested.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they did it. If they're not going to put out another movie every few years, I'd honestly be okay with them doing a show every quarter.
Yeah, until they figure out the movie scenario, we need these shows. I mean, what the fuck did Disney buy the goddamn Star Wars for?
Well, that's true too. But my point is that some people don't really understand or appreciate how good they have it.
Yeah, I do. Listen, Liam Neeson's an old guy at this point. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Let's do 2 quick topics.
Okay.
And then we do Bad Batch and get out of here. And the 2 quick topics are following. Mando, Season 4, written already, apparently. And they say it's going to fit seamless into the Ahsoka series, which I don't think any of us were surprised about, with Dave Filoni being in control of Ahsoka and tightly linked into...
I was wrong about Bryce, but...
The Mandalorian. You were 100% wrong about
wrong.
Bryce Dallas Howard. I have no idea why you thought Bryce Dallas Howard was in charge of Ahsoka when Dave Filoni's in charge of Ahsoka. Minus 6,000 points for you. Plus 14 for me, because I told you that was the case.
Okay.
Now, thoughts about that? Are you looking forward to Ahsoka?
Yes.
Will Ahsoka be in The Mandalorian Season 3?
I think you might see her.
Okay. And another person who is being tied to Ahsoka is Jude Law's character in Skeleton Crew.
I guess that's how they're introducing him for the spinoff.
His name might be Lut Bateri. Apparently, he was a romantic interest of Ahsoka's in the Clone Wars animated series.
Oh.
So I'm not going to lie. I don't, I have to go back one of these days and just watch all of the Clone Wars.
I remember that guy.
But that's who Jude Law is apparently playing in the Skeleton Crew.
Okay, so he was like the son of a senator
yes!
or something like
yes!
that?
Yes, that's what they said. He said they said he was the son of a senator or something like that.
And they were like friends, but it was almost butting into a romance type of thing. Yes. And then he had to betray them.
The word on the street, I mean, I don't know if they've confirmed 100% that he is that character, but that is the word on the street.
Oh, that's
that he probably or maybe that character. Either way, they're saying Skeleton Crew will tie into Ahsoka. So now you got Mando, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew. Is this how they're going to be doing their Marvel universe of Star Wars?
That's how you're supposed to spin off a proper like television spin off is you introduce the character that you want to spin off into the show. So like that's how they did All in the Family. It's like George Jefferson was his neighbor and Maude was Edith's cousin, and that's how you spin off a show. Okay, all right. Well, listen, I'm excited for it. I'm starting to get very excited for Skeleton Crew because you don't know anything about it. Ultimately. Yeah. You have an idea of what maybe even you might be seeing a little bit of the Mandalorians, and there's going to be a Bo-Katan, and we're going to get the Darksaber and this and that. Now, I'm sure we're going to have all kinds of fun surprises. But, you sort of have an idea. Skeleton Crew, to me, is total mystery right now. And I'm for that. That's perfectly fine. Okay, we skipped Bad Batch episode 9 last week because I had to go to Star Wars Land. Oh, excuse me, Galaxy's Edge. And I had to have a fun time. You guys see this lightsaber? Did I show it to you? Look at that. I'm going to cut Jared's head off anytime I want. Look at that. Anytime I want. Did your kids get one? Or did no, I would not allow them to get one. This was all about me. No, they did the lightsaber workshop before. I had Stanley pretty much doing this. I just told him though, stay dark side, brother. Stay dark side. So I actually give him credit. I thought he did a fantastic job. He did a great job. And it feels very Sith-esque to me, which is what I was looking for. All right, so we skipped episode 9. So we're going to do real quick reviews of episodes 9 and 10. Right off the bat,
I'm going to read something out of my notes, which I wrote. Right off the bat, episode 9, I wrote, "Why am I lost when watching this show?" with 3 exclamation points. I don't know what's happening anymore at the beginning. We used to at least have Carla from Cheers as a lizard telling them you need to do such and such, go such and such, go. Now the episodes begin. They're on a strange planet. I don't know where they are. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their mission is. I don't know how they got there.
Well, that's what
I don't know what's going on. I am truly lost now with the show. The show's getting worse.
Really?
Yes, it's becoming more disorganized, bro. Somehow, the Bad Batch is making less sense, and yet is fucking just repetitive as shit. We'll get into all of that. But new Omega sulking. So, when we started the Bad Batch, Omega had a connection with Hunter. And Hunter was kind of like the father figure. We got to take care of Hunter. Somehow that transitioned over to Wrecker. She became like in love with Wrecker. Wrecker's the new fucking dad in this, and he's got to make a room on the ship for her and this and that. Then somehow she's in fucking love with Echo. She misses Echo now. What the fuck is going on with this person? She has like a fatherly clone bond, but with like 3 or 4 different guys.
Well,
every 4 or 5 weeks.
It's basically because
why wouldn't they have just stuck her with Hunter? And like the other guys, the other clones want to do missions, want to do grown-up shit, and just Hunter is like, we need to save this little girl because he has the attachment. Now all of a sudden Wrecker's got the attachment. Echo's got the attachment. She misses fucking Echo. Tech, fucking Hunter's like, go talk to her, Tech. Why? Tech has never said 2 words to this person. Like, none of the Omega's making sense anymore.
Well, now it's
the character. Get ready for it, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm giving it to you right now. I was going to save it for the end of the review. I can't.
Great joke.
I can't.
Okay.
Omega is the single worst character in the history of Star Wars live action or animation. Whoa. Don't give me Jar Jar Binks. Don't give me little Anakin Skywalker. Don't give me shit. Omega is the worst character in the history of Star Wars, animation or live action. The character now not only is repetitive, boring, and annoying, the character's lost. The character's disorganized. It's a shitty fucking character now because she's transferred all of these feelings from Hunter to Wrecker to Echo and now to Tech. The character is disorganized. It's a shitty fucking character. If you have any ways of salvaging this show, Omega needs to go. I swear to God, in 10, 15 years, no one will be talking about the Bad Batch. Make no mistake about it. That is not a fucking prediction. That's a spoiler. No one will be talking about the Bad Batch in 10 to 15 years the way we talk about the Clone Wars. This show is a disastrous failure. Way more than other Star Wars fans are willing to say.
I am so shocked at you.
I fucking hate this show.
Whoa. Big fucking move.
I am going to watch this show.
Controversial statement.
Yes, I am going to watch. I have a goddamn responsibility to Yaddle heads to continue to watch this program. But ladies and gentlemen, unless they change things drastically, this needs to be the end. Well, I'm not even kidding. We're going into Mando, and I want to only be positive. And before you get mad at me, I am not one of the negative Star Wars troll freaks who hates on everything for clicks. I'm a guy who publicly says he loves Solo. He likes The Last Jedi. He likes The Force Awakens. He likes all of the prequel trilogy movies, the original trilogy movies, Rogue One, all 4 of the live action series. That includes the Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, Mando, and Andor. I have had a long and historied track record of liking 98% of Star Wars stuff, which is why I can tell you, you put this in that Resistance cartoon fucking category. And guess what, folks? Where'd that show go? Oh, that's right. That show got its ass fucking fired. 2 seasons and done because the show was too childlike. But that show at least admitted it. That show at least admitted we're a Saturday morning cartoon. The Bad Batch is supposed to be prime time. Like the Clone Wars, which came out at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays or Wednesdays back in the day, this is supposed to be a primetime show. And it's not. It's a bad show. Omega is a bad character. I'm not kidding. She is cliche. And before anyone gives me any fucking negativity about this being anything other than what it is, she is a less successful version of Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano is the template. Again, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it one last time. Ahsoka Tano is the template for the young, coming-of-age character who needs to discover themselves and their way in the Star Wars galaxy. They had a character after Ahsoka in Star Wars Rebels with Ezra. That was the same character, but, little bit diminishing returns. Now we see Omega, and it's the same thing. Coming of age, young, needs to find herself. And now it's the diminishing returns are non-existent. You're showing us the same character now, Disney, time and time and time again. That's why, while I'm excited for the Skeleton Crew show, it's because of Jude Law. I'm not necessarily excited that there's going to be a bunch of kids if it's, coming of age bullshit. But Disney's got to get off this shit. Disney, I was a child. We were all fucking kids. We all watched the original trilogy. Guess how many 10-year-olds there were in it? None! There was no 10-year-olds in fucking Star Wars. Little kids do not need to see little kids. They don't. Little kids need to see great characters. Good versus evil. Some complexities and nuances, for fuck's sake. The problem I have is it's belittling and condescending to children, not to the adults. This show is fucking playing down to kids, which is why my 13-year-old son and 14-year-old daughter who love Star Wars fucking hate this show too. And I'm the one who feels guilty. I'm not putting any of my shit on them. I'm going, hey, why don't you check it out? And I'm wanting to watch The Bad Batch with my kids so that maybe some of their youthful exuberance rubs off on me. And instead, they're hating it more than I do. Stanley's out. Stanley won't watch this show. And Juliana thinks Omega's stupid. They're the same age, and Juliana's like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? Now, that's an issue.
No,
And this, again, was supposed to be a Clone Wars spinoff. The Clone Wars is the most important animated property that Star Wars had. It's given us great characters, great stories that we're still benefiting from. Fuck Ahsoka Tano. A Clone Wars character's got her. Is there any shot that Omega would get a live action fucking series the way Ahsoka Tano has? No. Stop replicating the Ahsoka Tano character. Stop repackaging it. And stop playing down, belittling Star Wars fans, treating us like we're stupid. You fucked this show up. You wanted an edgy Clone Wars spinoff, and you had it. You put in this stupid-ass fucking character, and you totally blew it. Cancel the show. I don't want the show back for season 3, because I don't want to have this kind of Star Wars negativity. I'm a Star Wars lover. I don't want to feel this way. But if they can't if they can't literally kill off Omega or write her off the show, cancel it. That's it. No more. No more. Bad show. First of all, the fucking thing turned into a Facts of Life episode.
A Facts of Life?
A Facts of Life episode where she doesn't know who she...
That is not what I got from that episode.
The Facts of Life episode is that, hey, Chick, you need to go and talk to her. You know, she's a girl. She needs to, and she's like, oh, aren't we a family? And just shut the fuck. At what point does Hunter say we should not be taking this little girl with us? Now we're actually doing her a disservice where she is simply too immature, too spoiled. She was a spoiled brat on Camino. She is not up for this. They should not be bringing this girl around with them on these missions. They're harming her. That's what I thought about episode 9. As far as episode 10 goes, you had the greatest star in the whole fucking show was Gonki. I hated everything else. The Mako, the fucking who looked like, remember Lord of the Rings, the third one, Return of the King, where you have the giant, battle scene, and there's the one guy with the pink bulbous head. He looks like kind of an elephant man kind of guy. Okay. That's who Mako looked like to me. You had Mako. You had
the little annoying kid.
There was another little annoying teenager that was fucking annoying. And here's what I wrote down in my notes. Ready? What is this show? Because the show simply does not know whether it's for kids or adults. And that is why the show is a failure. This show is a failure because it needed to either go one way or the other. Tell us adults, hey, this is for a young audience, it's for kids, it's a Saturday morning thing. Fine, I'll skip it. I will. Like I skipped season 2 of The Resistance. It was a bad, I wasn't going to sit there and waste my time. I don't want to waste my time.
I get
Time
it.
on the fucking planet Earth is very limited. So tell us, is this a Saturday morning cartoon or is this a primetime show? If it's a primetime show, Omega's got to go. She's single-handedly ruined this entire series. The show sucks, bro. They've had 2 good episodes. The Palpatine and the Crosshair. Episode 3 or 4. It feels like forever ago. Where the fuck was that guy? You had Crosshair with the best episode of the series in episode 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think.
And now we're past episode 10. They never fucking went back to Crosshair.
I know. We thought Crosshair was going to be the assassin in the.
Goddamn. Dave Filoni. You need to pull a George Lucas. Go and watch your ILM doc. Okay? Light Magic. And when George Lucas went back in episode 4 and saw that ILM had completed only 2 fucking shots. One was 3-second shot of the goddamn escape pod being shot, with 3PO and R2. That's all. He fucking put the thumb down, his goddamn foot on their throats and said, you guys are not gonna fuck me up. You fucking hippies. You will not fuck up Big GL.
You're not gonna fuck me up, you motherfucker. You motherfuckers get back to fucking work. You motherfucking smoking pot and Jesus fucking Christ, we need like 165 fucking video shots, and I got fucking. I had John Knowles smoking crack and fucking wearing a parking cone in his head. I'm like, how are we gonna fucking do this? And I got John Dykstra fucking banging 2 whores at a time. It's like, get back to the show.
Anyway,
that is fucking brilliant.
No, listen.
I love that.
Listen, do you understand?
So
I mean, come on, man. Am I being too hard? And again, I want Yaddle heads to know I'm the positive guy. I'm Darth David for sure. But man, I'm the positive guy. I have gone on record and says I've loved every single Star Wars movie ever. That's not bullshit. I've had creative quibbles with a movie here or there. I've loved every live action series ever. I love the Clone Wars. I love Rebels.
You love the behind the scenes shit.
I love behind the scenes. I love Ahsoka Tano. The reason why Omega sucks is because she's a really, really, really shitty version of Ahsoka Tano.
Because there's nothing. So I'll give you my take now.
Please.
Or do you have any more?
No, that's it.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I have for Bad Batch. I'm not even going to go into it anymore. We got to do a cage match as well. So no, but I want to hear you first.
So I actually think that this might have been the point where they were seeing either whatever finished product it was or however things were going, and Filoni steps in. Because you notice that this was a 2-parter that they released one at a time and not like a whole thing. And then the last arc wasn't that bad and it was a two-parter as well, right? So we're seeing that kind of return to the Clone Wars-esque type of multi-episode arc.
True, yeah.
Which once they introduced that into the Clone Wars, added a whole other dimension to the series, and I think personally elevated it.
Okay.
Right? I didn't think she was as annoying as she was before.
Okay, so you didn't think she was that bad this episode? Or these two episodes?
I think that there's a general annoyance with the character because
she doesn't grow. She doesn't learn. She keeps putting the Bad Batch in bad situations and never gains any wisdom or knowledge from that. The fact that she's almost getting her and her new family, the fact that she's almost getting them blown up, eaten, murdered week in and week out, and she never fails to grasp why she's doing this. It's just, and now she's coming across annoying in terms of, being a whiner, being a sulking, fucking annoying brat.
Didn't Tech call her out?
Now she's got an attitude and this and this.
But that was the whole thing that why she ran off was because Tech called her out.
Yeah, because she's fucking annoying.
So maybe this might be the turning point for her.
I hope so. And I hope her turning point is that she falls into a huge amount of lava. And she does. Look, wait a second. Why do we have to fucking put all our eggs in Omega's basket? This is insane. The world is ripe with stories who have killed off characters and characters who we thought might work and they just suck. They're unsuccessful character, but we want to keep the show going. Write them off.
But there's even some characters you wouldn't even base a whole show off
of. You don't need to stick around with fucking Omega. You don't need to. Have her be adopted by some fucking, roaming Kaminoans. They put her on the ship, welcome back home, and we're going to explore. Okay, bye, Omega. We did what we had to do. And then the Bad Batch goes on and be's tough guys. Acts like the A-Team. Does, fucking Saving Private Ryan. That's what the fucking guys should be doing. Hard-ass fucking guys. Dirty guys who are killing or they'll be killed. Jesus.
I would like to see.
We gotta get going anyway.
I didn't think that it was as bad. I thought that episode 10 was very overtly political.
Well, good for you. I don't even know about the politics. I just find these fucking shows boring as shit.
It just
Omega sucks.
To go back to what we were talking about before, there's nothing at stake anymore.
No.
Because
it's a Saturday morning cartoon. That's why. The Clone Wars felt like a primetime show.
But not every episode had Ahsoka. There were some episode arcs and some arcs that were about Anakin.
Oh, I agree with
that.
There
were some arcs that were about Obi-Wan. There were some arcs.
No doubt. Why haven't they gone back to fucking Crosshair?
Or even, yes, but even during to your point with Rebels, none of those characters were as one-dimensional as Omega is. Omega doesn't have anything to her.
Couldn't you listen? I'm just being honest. I want to move on because we're really going late here. We got to do a Star Wars cage match quick.
Okay, fine.
Sometimes you get a bad vibe, and I'm sorry, but when I saw Omega in the very first episode, just the way she was drawn, the little kid, the stupid bow and arrow, the dumb hairdo, everything about Omega felt very cliche. This feels like a bad cartoon character from the mid-1980s. A show, on a bad show, some bad cartoon that you watch because simply it's on. It was on after Bugs Bunny. You
James Bond Jr.
You're too lazy to change the channel. And it feels really corny.
No, I get that. It's not,
and it's a throwback in a bad way. Whereas the character, it treats everyone like kids. I shouldn't have a 13-year-old son who loves Star Wars say to me that this show isn't good, that he's officially out. He will not be watching any more shows. and that the show is lame. And I know exactly why he feels that way. He's a 13-year-old and wants to feel,
like
even if he isn't. No, he wants to feel a little older, like a teenager, like a grown-up.
Like an adult. I get it.
So, again, I don't know what audience you're going for. You literally are going for 5 and 6-year-olds. Because once the kids start getting to 10, 11, and 12, and 13, even they think the show is too kiddie.
But even the themes were... I think you're right in the sense that they don't know what they are. Because it's a very darkly shot show. It's a very cinematic...
That was the other thing. In the cave on episode 9, I didn't know what the fuck was happening. That was way too dark.
It's a very high production value, cinematically made show.
I think it looked good aesthetically.
But...
Didn't say that.
It's not a show for kids. It's not a show for adults. It's not even a show for family.
That's exactly my point. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Because, thank God... The Mandalorian is coming back next Wednesday. And while I'm going to watch Bad Batch episode 11, and we'll discuss it a little bit, it's going to be Mando intensive, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Because...
Are they doing have you heard anything about a multi-episode drop or...
No. Haven't.
Usually
They've been doing that for every series, right?
Yeah, it's been we're going to drop 3 episodes of Obi-Wan. Yeah. We're going to drop 2 episodes of Mando.
Yeah. They did for Andor, too, right? Didn't they do the first 2 episodes?
I think so, yeah.
Right?
It was either 2 or 3.
Yeah. All right, cage match.
Darth Vader versus Rey.
Darth Vader versus Rey. It's an interesting matchup. Okay. Star Wars cage match. Darth Vader versus Rey. Now, you'd think I'd go with Vader, right? You'd think that? And you'd be right. Let's be honest. 6'7". How big is Rey? 5'1", 5'2"? Daisy Ridley's in great shape, but very small.
Petite.
Darth Vader would fucking snap her like a toothpick. He would just pick her, especially if we don't even have any lightsabers involved, and it's just the 2 of them in a cage. He'll pick her up like this with the Force, and then bam, over the knee, break her back in 2. There's no way Rey walks out of the cage. Darth Vader paralyzes Rey within 2 minutes, and that's it. Darth Vader for the win.
Now, I guess I have to choose to go with the Jedi. You got to keep in mind, she's got a secret weapon. She's Palpatine's granddaughter. So she can mind fuck him.
Wait, she's Palpatine's granddaughter?
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Spoiler alert.
Whoa.
Retcon.
Whoa.
She can just mind fuck him.
Whoa. I own you, Anakin. My granddaddy owned you. That means I own you. It's kind of like how they did things in the 1850s.
Let's not go there, please.
Okay.
We're on YouTube. This is not a family-friendly show. Okay. But we're still on YouTube, and we don't want to get taken off YouTube. So we're going to leave it.
We're going to get out of here. Let's get out of here quickly. But here's the bottom line. All is good in Star Wars world. Hey, because I don't like Bad Batch, that doesn't mean I don't love Star Wars. I still love Star Wars, and I love literally everything else. Bad Batch has been such a failure because I love literally everything else. All of the shows, all of the movies, and I'm beyond excited for The Mandalorian Season 3. And next week, we're going to be discussing all Mando stuff. Are you going to start watching a couple of Mando episodes maybe to get yourself back in the
might have to do that.
Swing of things? Yeah. I recently watched the episode where they ran into Bo-Katan for the first time.
Okay.
And that's a great episode. Remember that one? It starts with him fishing, remember, with those guys? Remember, he's on a boat.
Yeah, okay.
And they try to throw Grogu in the water and shit like that. That's a really good episode. By the way, you know who directed that? Your girl, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Okay.
She directs the best stuff, I think, out there.
Yeah. She did the one with Ahsoka, right?
She is Star Wars Disney Plus at this point.
She might
Directs great episodes, voices Yaddle. We gotta get her on Yaddle Chattle. That's the key.
That would be the key?
That's the key.
Okay, great. One day.
Listen, you asked what's his face to reach out for her, right?
Am I going to do the plugs and all that now?
Yeah, let's go. All right, quick.
Close the show up?
Let's
okay.
Go.
All right. So, check out Eastside Dave on all social media platforms at Eastside Dave.
Yes.
You can check us out wherever podcasts are available. What is it now? The Watcher / Yaddle Chattle / Area 51 feed, wherever podcasts are available.
Look, you go in the podcasts, you put it in the search box, it's going to pop up.
Yeah, okay.
You put in Yaddle Chattle, it'll pop up. You want to hear Davey Mac, it's going to pop up.
We've also got
keep going.
YouTube Eastside Dave TV, EastsideDaveCountry.com, and now please feel free to peruse our very small Patreon. Patreon.com.
It's very small, it's very modest, it's very humble. Don't worry, the Patreon will be adding lots and lots of stuff in the coming year. Okay? We promise you. Hey, we gotta get out of here. Listen, you're done.
Okay.
His name is Jedi Jared. My name is Darth David. So excited for Mandalorian Season 3 premiere next Wednesday. Make sure you're tuning into Yaddle Chattle. Star Wars is a great place. Galaxy's Edge was fantastic. Thank you all Yaddle heads for listening to the show. We love you, and we'll see you next week. Good night, everybody!
Thanks again, Kevin.